Saxon's Calculus, Lesson 37, is about the derivative of e to the x and the natural log of the absolute value of x, and then also the derivative of sine and cosine. So these are some formulas that we need to memorize in our derivative. So we have our lovely shortcut that we're using. It's like when you have e to the 5th power, we know that we are making that 5 coming down, multiplying with e to the 4th power because we always minus 1. But what happens when we're deriving e to the x? Well, that is its own special little formula. And so my example here was bad. That actually should be an x to be more accurate. I had e on the brain. So when it is e to the x, the derivative is e to the x. So that is in the box. And you do need to memorize that. I would definitely put it in my notes. And to be precise, we're actually saying we're doing the d over dx. So you know you're doing the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Now, the derivative of the natural log of the absolute value of x has its own lovely formula, and it's 1 over x. So these you definitely need to memorize. And then, of course, when we get into part B with the sine and cosine, we'll have some other stuff that we're doing. In example 1, it asks us to find the dy over dx, the derivative, if y equals natural log of x, 4 natural log of x, 4 natural log of x minus 6e to the x plus 2x squared. So we know from before that we need to do each of these pieces individually. So this is going to be 4, and then the natural log of x is 1 over x. So basically that's 4 over x. And then the next piece minus the e to the x remains e to the x. So that's 6e to the x, no change, plus, and then we follow our lovely shortcut. 2 times 2 is 4. X, 2 minus 1 is 1, so I don't have anything else extra with that. There's the derivative they asked for. I'm wondering if I just jumped to example 2 when I called that example 1. Hang on, let me check that. 4 natural log of x minus 6e to the x. Or are they the same? Hang on. They are super similar. Let me just make sure I've written it. Y equals 4 natural log of x minus 6e to the x plus, okay, I did write example 1 correctly, and that is the correct derivative. Then example 2, how is that different? Find dy over dx if y equals 4 natural, here's the difference. In example 2, they gave you absolute value of x, and since absolute value is meaning that I only get positive answers out, the natural log of x was the same as the absolute value of x. There is no change in the formula answer. They are both identical. However, they point out that although the algebraic expression for the derivative is the same, because the derivative of 4 natural log of x and the derivative of 4 absolute value, 4 natural log absolute value of x are both 4 over x, blah. The difference is that both the function and the derivative in the problem are defined for positive and negative values of x, while the function for the derivative in the preceding problem is only for positive answers coming out. So in my original one, I could have both positives and negatives thrown into this answer. In the second one with the absolute value, I can only have positive answers. That's the only difference, but it looks identical. All right, now part B, derivatives for sine and cosine. Sorry. They clarify here, x is measured in radians. They basically want their answers for these derivatives always done in radian is what they're clarifying here. So on the bottom of page 194 in the box, you get the new formula. So d over dx for sine of x is cosine x, and you basically are memorizing that. And then the d over dx for cosine of x is negative sine of x. And once you memorize those two, that's a huge chunk of the memorized formulas that you need. Now, example 3. Find the derivative of y equals 3 sine of x minus cosine of x plus 2e to the x. So our 3 sine is going to go to 3 cosine of x. Our cosine of x is going to go to negative sine, so that's going to change it to positive sine of x. And then our 2e to the x has no change to it because the e to the x remains e to the x. And technically I should say that's dy over dx equals that, but I was cramming in space. Example 4 says find the derivative of y equals negative 3 cosine of x plus 3 natural log of x minus 2 sine x. Minus 2 sine x. So when we derive that, our cosine goes to negative sine, so that kills off that negative again. So this has gone to 3 sine of x. 3 with the natural log is 1 over x, so that's plus 3 over x, and then minus 2, and sine goes to cosine, so 2 cosine of x. Just check that answer. 3 sine, 3 over x minus the 2 cosine of x. And again, technically, that should equal dy over dx when I'm boxing that answer.